I've got Dr. Marko here, and Dr. Marko sporting the Max t-shirt to celebrate 4 world titles. Just how special is this achievement tonight?
It's very special because for a long period, as I can remember, we had for at least half the season not the fastest car. Sometimes we were behind not only McLaren but also Ferrari, Mercedes. And still in this situation, Max always made the maximum. And I would say 4 wins. It was just Max, not the car. But after Monza, which was, I think, the worst race, we stuck together and said, hello, we have to turn that round. We have to stick together and do everything to win this championship.
Well, I don't know if you know, but if the team finishes where it is right now in 3rd, Max will become only the 3rd driver ever to win a driver's title, and the team's not in the top 2 in the constructors. Just how special is he?
He's for sure one of the greatest, because it's always difficult to compare between periods. But don't forget, he's 27 years old, and he developed unbelievable. He uses, if necessary, his head. He shows who is a master of the game in Brazil, and he's a leader now. You know, when we had some troubles in the team, which is known, and he was part of the solution and sticking together and say, hello, let's work together and win the title.
Is that something you think's underrated from him? Like you say, if we go back to the start of the season, it felt like Red Bull could be about to fall apart, and yet here we are, and he's won another championship.
That made it even more difficult. You know, after the first races, we thought, fine, it keeps going like 23, and all of a sudden, or we woke up too late, because Max the weaknesses of the car wasn't shown because of his brilliance.
And obviously Max's success is great, but as I mentioned, the team in 3rd place overall. Can you get back into that Constructors' title fight, or in many ways does it not matter? Is it all about this Drivers' Championship?
No, but you know, if you take the difference between Max and Sergio's points, then it's clear where the problem is.
What do you think the team does about that heading into next season?
There is a decision that after Abu Dhabi we will stick together and present to the shareholders what we think is best, and they will make a decision.
Thank you for your time, and well done for this driver's title.
Okay.
You never want to be the topic at a shareholders meeting.
No, you really don't. I have to say, to me, that was the most prophetic line of the entire season, to say that the weaknesses of the car were covered by the brilliance of Verstappen. That actually sums up everything.
Yeah, that's what we were trying to say, but he said so succinctly. Brilliant, Chris, that you asked that last question too, by the way.
Well, and Chris made...
I had to get it in, really. It was, you know, it's the elephant in the room, isn't it? And we want to celebrate Max, and I made sure that was what we did talk about mainly. But when those hints are dropped as such, and Dr. Marko does work for Red Bull Racing. He doesn't just work for Max Verstappen. So you've got to ask that wider context picture.
Absolutely. And, you know, the truth is Red Bull... I mentioned in the commentary, you know, when you look at what has happened behind the scenes at Red Bull to a lesser team, and it sounds as though Max was one of the key factors and catalysts on going, hey guys, let's put all this aside. The Horner Gate, we lost Adrian, then we lost another, and then they started not winning races. He didn't win after Spain. I mean, any lesser team could have fallen apart.
That is so true. That is a very good point. We said at the beginning of the season what this could do to the company culture, the Horner Gate, and then losing the people. And then here we are at the, you know, earlier in the I think it was our pre-qualifying show yesterday, was saying you never underestimate Red Bull. And we're still saying that after all they've went through this season.
Because 3 years from now, when you look back at the, you know, stats, you'll go, oh yeah, another dominant year for Red Bull. But actually, this was a lot more nip and tuck.
Yeah.
Oh, right. 7 different drivers from 4 teams, 1 races.
Yeah.
That's
and multiple races. All of them now, isn't it?
Right.
Multiple races. Because that's George Russell's 2nd of the year. Lewis Hamilton had 2. Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc both had a couple. And both the McLaren drivers. So again, when we talk about of what we're saying about Checo, that not had a single victory out of those when everyone else has had at least 2. It does show how competitive it's been. And you can spin that both ways, can't you? You could say, well, Max hasn't had one driver challenging him all the way. True. But he's also had so many opportunities where multiple drivers could beat him, and he's fighting, attacks from different fronts, and he's kept them at bay, and in a sense kept them at bay comfortably, hasn't he, to get it over the line, still with 2 rounds to go.
Chris, what's your take? Obviously, the elephant in the room, as you quite rightly point out, but what are they going to do? I mean, they can't keep Perez, surely.
No, I don't think they will. But I think, especially with what Dr. Marko said there, I think it's because it was going to cost an absolute fortune to get rid of him before now, and still would next year. I think with the contract he signed this year and what he brings to the team, I think it was a situation that they've dug a bit of a hole. That means they're going to have to pay a lot of money to Checo if they want to replace him. But that's why we're talking about giving the shareholders a decision to make. You're saying, look, this is going to cost us money, but this is why we could do it, and here's how it could go if we don't. But I think really that Checo's form has just not been enough to save himself now. And you just, with every passing weekend, kind of lose a bit of faith that he's going to find a way of turning it around. And we've talked about it a number of times, haven't we? That we don't like saying that, but I think the writing's on the wall for him. And it will be next season that it will be someone else in that car. It's just who.
I don't think they're afraid of losing money, and they've got the money to worry about. They got rid of Ricciardo, they got rid of Albon, they got rid of Kvyat, they got rid of, Maybe
they are worried about getting rid of Sergio because they're paying all those. It's like football coaches,
Yeah,
they're paying all these guys tens of millions of dollars.
Fire them
away.
and get a higher,
Yeah, but they're going to lose the
contract.
Constructors' Championship, which is a lot of money.
Right.
And so I think that's the way they're going to weigh it up, is to say, hey, guys, we could have been world champions for both.
Yeah, what is it, like 10, 12 million bucks a spot, so they're going to lose 20, 25 million bucks.
Yeah.
So,
plus,
all right, guys,
Paris' sponsorship.
let's get a quick break in, and we're going to try to talk about some of the other parts of this race after this.